This is part 3, finishing the tires and trying to start it for the first time. So far that went real easy. Now we'll put my safety chains in place. There, now I feel comfortable with it. You see, the ring is not coming up there yet. So I'm going to pound on the bead ring to see if it'll get it center itself into position. Now it came up all the way around. The end of the valve stem is so beat up I can't get it to chuck the seat on there good, so I can't check the pressure. If you notice, years ago they marked the ring, there's an R on the nut, and I hope you can see an R on the end of the stud, so you need they're both right hand. Let's go see if the other side, if they're marked with L's. I didn't notice before, but yes, that stud is marked with an L, and that nut is marked with an L. I don't think you'd see that kind of stuff nowadays. Well, I think it looks a lot better sitting up on two tires. And I don't know about you, any of you, but I think I know why that tire rubbed on that drag link or steering link so bad. Because if you notice, it looks like the tires are inward too far compared to the fenders. So I'm guessing that these wheels are neither of them are original, and they have too much offset to them, and that would make the tire rub so bad on that steering arm. And you can even see, besides being worn so far through, it's even got a bowl in it. So while the rims are what I have, and I won't be driving it on the road anyway, so for now they're going to be just what they are. Now we're going to check the engine oil. I like the size of that dipstick, man. You can find that and hang on to it. And let's see. It's full of oil, and the engine oil looks actually quite clean, but you gotta remember it's probably been settling out for the last 50 years. And they say the size of that dipstick hole, you don't have to guide it to get in there. It's really easy. Well, I thought it was. There we go. But now I'm going to crack the drain plug on the bottom to check that there's no water in the oil. If there's no water in the oil, then I'm going to leave that oil in it. I'm not even going to change it to at least first start it. Well, I cracked the nut loose. Now we're going to see if there's any water or sludge. Not a single drop of water, and it can't be sludgy on the bottom because the oil's dripping out. It looks a little dirtier when it's on the dipstick, but it's good enough to start it up on, and I'll let it get hot before I drain it. Going to be to disconnect that line that goes to the oil pressure gauge and hook up my oil pump and prime the oil system, because it could have been sitting 50 years and those bearings could be quite dry, and the first turning of it, then I know there will be fresh oil in the bearings. I hooked up my oil pump and I know I got pressure in the bearings, because you probably can't, you might not be able to see it, but you can see the hose grow in diameter, so it's under pressure. Yeah, I think you can see it. So we know we have oil pressure to the bearings. I pulled the plugs, put oil in the cylinders, so they won't be pistons won't be starting out dry. There was I could found no kind of a switch on it for the starter, so I just wired that into the cables, and now comes the moment to see if she'll spin with the electric starter. Here we go. See what happens. Nothing. That was a disappointment. Well, I'm hoping I found the problem. We're going to try it again, and if it works, then I'll explain to you what it is. There we go. And it cranks. I better put it neutral or I'll run it off the track. I had the parking brake set good and tight. Now I got neutral. Now we're going to try it. Well, we're going to give it some more oil pressure. Now we're going to crank it. That sounds pretty promising. Well, just for the heck of it, who in their wildest dreams thinks that it might actually have spark? Of course, I got to see that it ain't grounded first, that it isn't switched off. The mag ain't grounded. Before I checked for spark, the problem was what I thought was the ground cable running up under the seat. Remember I said I didn't know where there was any kind of a starter button or solenoid. Well, it's kind of weird. There was a battery cable ran from the starter without any kind of a switch in it, and I thought, well, I put my switch in that cable, and then I thought the other one was the ground. Well, oddly enough, somehow this is set up that the cable going to the starter goes right on the positive post, and the ground cable going to the frame, underneath on the frame, there's some kind of electrically operated solenoid, which had been very advanced for that time, that would connect the ground cable and make the starter run. What I did here was I just hooked the ground cable up right to the starter, and I have my manual switch into the cable going to the post on the starter, and it cranks over great. I don't know how that system works where it grounds the ground cable to make the charging system work. That's something else that'll take figuring out. So now, who thinks it might have spark? I know where the kill switch is for the mag, so I'm just going to try it in each position first. No spark there. Now I'm going to flip the switch. No spark there either. Of course, I would have been amazed if it would have spark without at least cleaning points. But so the mag will probably be, I might try. The mag is kind of hard to work at where it is. It's way down in here. First I might try, see if I can just take the cap off and look at it. But I'm still pretty happy with the progress so far. We're going to try one more time for spark. This is the ground wire to the mag, and here it was bare, wrapped right around the wiring harness. All the wiring on this truck runs through conduit like this. I think that's pretty amazing, that flexible conduit. So now that I know the ground wire isn't short enough, we'll try for spark one more time. No spark. So now it'll be time to work on the mag. Well, I filed the points and I got spark now. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Four shots in a row and it sparked every time. Well, we're going to try it again, see if we have spark now at the plug. Darn, I didn't see any at the plug. We're trying another plug. Here we go again. I'm not seeing any at the plug. I don't know what's happening. I moved the timing lever and now it has spark. So that makes me feel good. Well, I filled the float bowl with gas. Opened the throttle and pulled the choke. Let's see what happens. Not too bad. You heard the very first start. Now I opened the choke and we'll try it again. I pulled the choke again, filled the float bowl back up and opened the throttle a little bit more. Let's see what happens. Nope. Try it again. Nope. Oh. I might quit for today. Should check for spark again. I didn't do anything with the carburetor. I just dumped float gas in the float bowl. So, I don't know. But I'm going to take a break now.